by me, Mr. Carter, Mr. Lormauer. Boy, I got so many bills like I'm Michael Lowry. Even Gwen Stefani, they say she couldn't die with me. Yo. We back at it once again, coach. We back at it. We back at it, coach. We back at it once again, coach. All right, guys. About to do another quick research day. Quick research day, man. We finished that Play-Doh, man. So I'm trying to see if there is any other type of maybe lecture we can do, or we could just mess around, watch a video. I'm not too sure, not too sure. Yeah, because we finished this last, I think this was yesterday. Yeah. We got the basis of the video for real. We trying to bust out a lecture a week, guys. Remember, a lecture a week. So that's the goal, man. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely the goal. It's gonna be hard, man. Man, we should just start on this. I think we should start on this. Or maybe we should just wait till next week. Listen, guys, I got a lot of stuff, man. I got a lot of ideas, man. I got a lot of ideas, so. Oh, yeah, guys. Hey, I was just talking to one of my guys, man. Think we got ourselves a debate here soon, man. My boy said he'll do it online, so I always ask if it's okay to, you know, debate online and stuff like that. So my boy, he ain't scared, man. And it's not about really being scared, I guess, but my boy Eli said that he was trying to do it online, so hopefully he's still down. Couple weeks we'll get it going for real. Couple weeks we'll get it going. Kant? Kantian ethics? I got this from my, I had bought a textbook not too long ago. That shit was called Ethics. I think this was from that. Ethics. I took pictures of the book, and you guys can see that I can have it read it out to us. Sometimes it's shaky a little bit, though.
B. Kantian ethics, GH groundwork of the metaphysics of morals. Immanuel Kant. With the exception of Plato and Aristotle, Immanuel Kant is widely thought of as the most influential thinker in the history of Western philosophy. His most important works came during his critical period, and they include the Critique of Pure Reason, groundwork of the metaphysics of morals, the Critique of Practical Reason, and the Critique of the Power of Judgment. The following selection is from chapters 1 and 2 of Kant's groundwork. In it, Kant lays the groundwork for his moral thought. In particular, he discusses the concept of a good will, the concept of an imperative, the distinction between categorical and hypothetical imperatives, and 3 different ways of formulating the categorical imperative, the fundamental principle for moral reasoning. Kant's moral theory stands in contrast to consequentialism and, in particular, utilitarianism.
Man, we could just get into a general ethics, bro. We could just start cooking up on like general ethics. I took a general ethics class. Oh, bro, we might have to create a ethics course. Ethics lecture. That should be dope. We'll call it like ethics, like how should we act in the world or something. Sorry guys, I'm trash, but hey man, fuck it. How should we act in the world or something like that? Some bullshit. Have ChatGPT. We can get on ChatGPT and help us create this. You know, guys, I got a lot of information from my ethics course. And I think it's downloaded to my fucking computer, gang. And since I downloaded it to my computer, I can probably... Oh man, I know it's on oh man, is it on here? It's called there's like, so I have like different things for my ethics course which I can take from it. From utilitarianism to deontology to that should be hard though, because I mean, it sounds good that I'll be sitting there trying to do a general like ethics lecture, but it's like, damn, like that means I'll have to know all of these in one for real, instead of chopping it up one by one, instead of doing like content ethics for a lecture and then giving me some time to review. And damn, I might just do that, because when I truly think about it, it's kind of like, I don't know, like I don't know for real, like so I don't know. I think that maybe we should just go one by one for real and research a specific topic. Cause I got this one book we could be reading, bro. Like this book right here, James Rachel. He talks about so much different forms of morality. And I can like, man, I could just do an overview on this book, like low key. The challenges of cultural relativism, subjectivism in ethics. Does morality depend on religion? Ethical egotism. The social contract theory, the utilitarian approach, virtue ethics. Oh man, This would be dope though. That's a good ass fucking lecture I could do. Does morality depend on religion? That's a hard answer. But I don't think morality depends on religion. I just think that when you subscribe to a moral framework, you're going to be categorized in a religion no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's like not completely the traditional sense of that religion, it doesn't really matter. You're going to be put in a box. Now you can step outside the box a tad bit, but once you step out to another, like, step out the box, you're gonna be like, it's either you're gonna start contradicting yourself or you're gonna have to go into like a new religion, like, and that's where the hardest part is. You know what I'm saying? So that is the hardest part. This book is this book is free, bro. It's so fire, bro. Like, we could be sitting here reading this shit, like, we could be using some of this, because this nigga right here, he's nice. Hold on, let's go to this, what is this, 49? We'll go to 49 real quick. Does morality depend on religion?
OES morality depend on religion? The good consists in always doing what God wills at any particular moment. Emil Brunner, The Divine Imperative. I respect deities. I do not rely upon them. Musashi Miyamoto, at Ichijoji Temple. 4.1. The presumed connection between morality and religion. In 1995, the American Civil Liberties Union sued Judge Roy Moore of Gadsden, Alabama, for displaying the Ten Commandments in his courtroom. Such a display, the ACLU said, violates the separation of church and state, which is guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution. The ACLU might not have liked Moore, but Alabama voters did. In 2000, Moore successfully campaigned to become Chief Justice of the Alabama Supreme Court, running on a promise to restore the moral foundation of law, thus the Ten Commandments. Judge became the most powerful jurist in the state of Alabama. Moore was not through making his point, however. In the wee hours of July 31, 2001, he had a granite monument to the Ten Commandments installed in the Alabama State Judicial Building. This monument weighed over 5,000 pounds, and anyone entering the building could not miss it. Moore was sued again, but the people were behind him. 77% of Americans thought that he should be allowed to display his monument. Yet the law did not agree. When Moore disobeyed a court order to remove the monument, the Alabama Court of the Judiciary fired him, saying that he had placed himself above the law. Moore, however, believed that he was putting God above the law. The United States is a religious country. Nearly 80% of Americans say they believe in God, and another 12% say they believe in a universal spirit or higher power.
Damn. Well, I think this is a fact check. This is similar to the statistics that Pew Research gave as well.
The United States is a religious country. Nearly 80% of Americans say they believe in God, and another 12% say they believe in a universal spirit or higher power. The main religion in America is Christianity. 41% of Americans report believing that Jesus Christ will return to Earth by 2050. In America, members of the Christian clergy are often treated as moral experts. Hospitals ask them to sit on ethics committees. Reporters interview them on the moral dimensions of a story, and churchgoers look to them for guidance. The clergy even help decide whether movies will be rated G, PG, PG-13R, or NC-17. Priests and ministers are assumed to be wise counselors who will give sound moral advice. Why are the clergy regarded in this way? The reason is not that they have proven themselves to be better or wiser than other people. As a group, they seem to be neither better nor worse than the rest of us. There is a deeper reason why they are thought to have special moral insight. In popular thinking, morality and religion are inseparable. People commonly believe that morality can be understood only in the context of religion. Thus, the clergy are assumed to be authorities on morality.
Yeah, can't be true. In popular thinking, morality and religion are inseparable. People commonly believe that morality can be understood only in the context of religion. Thus, the clergy are assumed to be authorities on morality.
It is not hard to see why people think this. When viewed from a non-religious perspective, the universe seems to be a cold, meaningless place, devoid of value and purpose. In his essay A Free Man's Worship, written in 1902, Bertrand Russell expressed what he called the scientific view of the world. That man is the product of causes, which had no provision of the end they were achieving. That his origin, his growth, his hopes and fears, his loves and his beliefs are but the outcome of accidental collocations of atoms. That no fire, no heroism, no intensity of thought and feeling can preserve an individual life beyond the grave. That all the labors of the ages, all the devotion, all the inspiration, all the noonday brightness of human genius are destined to extinction in the vast death of the solar system, and that the whole temple of man's achievement must inevitably be buried beneath the debris of a universe in ruins. All these things, if not quite beyond dispute, are yet so nearly certain that no philosophy which rejects them can hope to stand. From a religious perspective, however, things look very different. Judaism and Christianity teach that the world was created by a loving, all-powerful God to provide a home for us. We, in turn, were created in his image, to be his children. Thus, the world is not devoid of meaning and purpose. It is, instead, the arena in which God's plans are realized. What could be more natural, then, than to think of morality as part of religion, while the atheist world has no place for values? 4.
Oh yeah, divine command theory. Bro, we could start. It's possible we could just start with divine command theory. But I'm doing a lecture on divine command theory no matter what. I mean, of course, I believe in God, so... I mean, why not start there? And, I mean, do some true research on it. I mean, shit, we could probably start now. Shit, divine command theory, guys. Maybe this is where it's ended up to be. Who do you believe in? I put my trust in God, blessed I'm still breathing. And even though it's hard, that's who I believe in. Before I'm leaving, I'm massing and grieving. Who do you believe in? Can't close my eyes cause all I see is terror. I hate the man in the mirror cause his reflection makes the pain turn realer. Times of Armageddon, murdering mass amounts. Is it society wrong to getting the cash counts? I started out as a beginner into the criminal lifestyle, became a sinner. I made my money in vacate, evade prison, went from the chosen one to outcast, unforgiven, and all the Hennessy and weed can't hide the pain I feel inside. You know, it's like I'm living just to die. I fall on my knees and beg for mercy, not knowing if I'm worthy living life and thinking no man can hurt me. So I'm asking before I lay me down to sleep. Before you judge me, look at all this shit you did to me. My misery, I rose up from the slums, made it out the flames in my search for fame. Well, I changed. I'm asking, who do you believe in? I put my trust in God, blessed I'm still breathing. And even though it's hard, that's who I believe in. Before I'm leaving, I'm asking and grieving. Who do you believe in? That nigga Tupac! That nigga was the best.
4.2. The Divine Command Theory. Christians, Jews, and Muslims all believe that God has told us to obey certain rules of conduct. God does not force these rules on us. He created us as free agents, so we may choose what to do. But if we live as we should, then we must follow God's laws. This idea has been expanded into a theory known as the Divine Command Theory.
So, yeah, Christians, Muslims, and Jews, they believe in free will. Oh shit, I already got that. I am making notes on divine command theory. I am making the Google Slides for it. Okay, let's just start doing notes.
Action. The basic idea is that God decides what is right and wrong. Actions that God commands are morally required, actions that God forbids are morally wrong, and all other actions are permissible or merely morally neutral. This theory has a number of attractive features. It immediately solves the old problem of the objectivity of ethics. Ethics is not merely a matter of personal feeling or social custom. Whether something is right or wrong is perfectly objective. It is right if God commands it, and wrong if God forbids it. Moreover, the divine command theory explains why anyone should bother with morality. Why not forget about ethics and just look out for yourself? If immorality is the violation of God's commandments, there is an easy answer. On the day of final reckoning, you will be held accountable. There are, however, serious problems with the theory. Of course, atheists would not accept it because they do not believe that God exists. But there are difficulties even for believers. The main problem was identified by Plato, a Greek philosopher who lived 400 years before Jesus of Nazareth. Plato's books are written as conversations, or dialogues, in which Plato's teacher Socrates is always the main speaker. In one of them, the Euthyphro, there is a discussion of whether right can be defined as what the gods command. Socrates is skeptical and asks, is conduct right because the gods command it, or do the gods command it because it is right?
The fucking Euthyphro fucking dilemma. In one of them, the Euthyphro dilemma, there is a discussion of whether right can be defined as what God commands. Socrates is skeptical and asks, is conduct right because the gods command it, or do the gods command it because it's right? See, this is one of the main arguments that atheists have. Like, and it's a tough one. You know, hey, I ain't gonna lie. If you're in an argument with a nigga that asked the Euthyphro dilemma question, you know you're not dealing with no dumb nigga. The nigga pull out this argument, bro, you know a nigga ain't dumb. Because it's like, damn, nigga, you have to go all the way to Socrates to fucking ask that question. Like, you had to go all the way ancient times, nigga, to get this shit, nigga. Like, oh, shit.
This is one of the most famous questions in the history of philosophy. The British philosopher Antony Flew suggests that one good test of a person's aptitude for philosophy is to discover whether he can grasp force and point of this question. Socrates' question is about whether God makes the moral truths true or whether he merely recognizes that they're true. There's a big difference between these options. I know that the Burj Khalifa building in the United
Socrates' question is about whether God makes the moral truths true or whether he merely recognizes that they are true. There's a big difference between these options. Wait, Socrates' question is about whether God makes the moral truths true or whether he merely recognizes them that are true. Yes, bro. Yes, bro. And how I do that thing about asking the question? That shit was tight. Nah, how I do that one thing where we cause we was asking it questions, like, fuck, I fucking forgot we was doing that. Ask AI. Nah, there was a way to like ask it though. Over here? Because I want to see what this AI says when I ask it. When I talk to AI. Add a note. See, I can make it a whole summary, but damn. Bro, there was a way. Oh. Can you please break this down so I can understand this more? Bro, what the fuck? Bro, there was a way, bro. I swear, chat, bro. We was just doing this shit just not too long ago, bro. I swear to God, bro, we was literally just asking it shit, and then it was breaking down that shit, bro. But how we do that, bro? We was doing, remember, it was like it's probably right here or something. Message us? Appearance? Find, add bookmark, share. Annotations, chat. Bro, I think this shit's geeking, bro. This shit's geeking, gang.
Sure. Here's a summary of the key sections and their purposes from the text you provided. Preface. Purpose. Introduces the book's aim to survey various philosophical ideas and arguments. Sure.
No.
Socrates' question indeed raises a fundamental dilemma in moral philosophy. Does God create moral truths, or does he simply recognize them? God creates moral truths. This perspective suggests that morality is entirely dependent on God's commands. If God declares something right, it is right simply because he says so. This leads to the divine command theory, but it raises issues about the nature of morality being arbitrary and potentially mysterious. God recognizes moral truths. Alternatively, if God recognizes moral truths, it implies that these truths exist independently of him. This suggests that morality is objective and not solely based on divine decree, which can align with philosophical views outside of religious frameworks. The implications of these options are significant, affecting how we understand morality's foundation and its relationship to divine authority. What are your thoughts on this distinction? Sure.
Yeah. So, basically, if I could break it down in an easy to understand way. So, morality is entirely dependent on God's commands. So if God creates the laws, then that means that the laws are subjective to God. It's personal to God because God created. Alternatively, if God recognizes that there is moral truths outside of him, that means that God can't control those laws. You know what I'm saying? It just means that he is recognizing that they're real. So a lot of Christians will have to kind of submit to the idea that God creates the laws and they're subjective to what he believes. And I'm pretty sure that's what William Lane Craig will think as well. I'm going to ask ChatGPT to do some deep research on William Lane Craig's position on the Euthyphro dilemma. Break down his full argument, please. Please break down his whole argument. Break down that nigga's whole argument, bro.
I know that the Burj Khalifa building in the United Arab Emirates is the tallest building in the world. I recognize that fact. However, I did not make it true. Rather, it was made true by the designers and builders in the city of Dubai. Is God's relation to ethics like my relation to the Burj Khalifa building, or like the relation of the builders? This question poses a dilemma, and either way out leads to trouble. First, we might say that right conduct is right because God commands it. For example, according to Exodus 20:16, God commands us to be truthful. Thus, we should be truthful simply because God requires it. God's command makes truthfulness right, just as the builders of a skyscraper make the building tall. This is the divine command theory. It is almost the theory of Shakespeare's character Hamlet. Hamlet said that nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. According to the divine command theory, nothing is good or bad except when God's thinking makes it so.
Damn. It's kind of a tough thing too, because it's kind of like a lot of niggas can cope out with it. Be like, oh yeah, since God said it's right, it's right. God said it's wrong, it's wrong. But that's just a basic analysis on it, though. The Christians will believe that God is good ontologically. They'll actually add another argument within this divine command theory, as in they are worshiping the good. Jesus Christ is the good. Ontologically, his being is ontologically good. So that's why they worship him. And I was just breaking this down not too long ago too. I was talking to a Christian. I'm like, that's why, Christians worship Jesus, because of like what the nigga did and what he was representing and who his being was. I said, if the nigga Jesus wasn't, saving people at that rate, or he wasn't, healing the blind, he wasn't preaching the highest form of the good, then I don't think Christians would have ever thought he was God or worshiped him. There's an ontological argument being placed when we talk about Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ is the good. He's literally God's word manifested in the flesh. The highest form of the logos itself, my nigga. Those theories is way more deeper than niggas can comprehend. Even if y'all niggas don't even believe the story. I mean, shit, nigga, the theories behind it is just amazing. If we talking about meta-ethical properties, nigga, like the logos itself manifested in the flesh is like crazy. Like, that shit is nuts. The highest form of reasoning, the highest form of the metaphysical property of logic manifesting itself to the flesh to save the world. It's just nutty. It's a nutty story. It's so creative and powerful. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, niggas can't knock it. Niggas can try, but I don't think niggas can actually knock the story of the Bible itself. Y'all niggas can say it's fictional. Shit, that's another argument. But knocking the greatness of the stories, like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? Are you a fucking idiot, bro? Like,
this idea encounters several difficulties. 1. This conception of morality is mysterious. What does it mean to say that God makes truthfulness right? It is easy enough to understand how physical objects are made, at least in principle. We have all made something, if only a sandcastle or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But making truthfulness right is not like that. It could not be done by rearranging things in the physical environment. How, then, could it be done? No one knows. To see the problem, consider some wretched case of child abuse. On the theory we're now considering, God could make that instance of child abuse right, not by turning a slap into a friendly pinch of the cheek, but by commanding that the slap is right. This proposal defies human understanding. How could merely saying or commanding that the slap is right make it right? If true, this conception of morality would be a mystery. 2. This conception of morality makes God's commands arbitrary. We assume that God has good reasons for what he does.
Fuck, that was another good argument. This conception of morality makes God's command arbitrary. Yeah, I mean, to the humans, yeah, because the reason why he's saying the word arbitrary is because if God is so powerful, he has the free will to create any type of morality he wants to. See, but the difference is with Christianity, it's kind of like the idea of niggas believing, like I said, the highest form of good, and God will only manifest good itself. You know what I'm saying? But from a non-secular point of view. No, I'm sorry. From a secular point of view. From a secular point of view, niggas will be looking at it like, damn, like God can manifest any type of morality in the world.
We assume that God has good reasons for what. 2. This conception of morality makes God's commands arbitrary. We assume that God has good reasons for what he does. But suppose God commands truthfulness to be right. On this theory, he could have given different commands just as easily. He could have commanded us to be liars, and then lying, and not truthfulness, would be right. After all, before God issues his commands, no reasons for or against lying exist. God is the one who creates the reasons. And so, from a moral point of view, God's commands are arbitrary. He could command anything whatsoever. This result may seem not only unacceptable, but impious from a religious point of view. 3. This conception of morality provides the wrong reasons for moral principles. There are many things wrong with child abuse. It is malicious. It involves the unnecessary infliction.
The conception of morality provides the wrong reasons for moral principles. What? I'm sorry, I was not paying attention. Hold on, because I'm going too fucking fast. I need to fucking pin this chat and then... Oh, shit. Unpin. Pin this shit. This shit is divine command theory. He said the conception of morality provides the wrong reasons for moral principles. Oh, okay. This is only a small portion.
Three, this conception of morality provides the wrong reasons for moral principles. There are many things wrong with child abuse. It is malicious. It involves the unnecessary infliction of pain. It can have unwanted long-term psychological effects, and so on. However, the theory we're now considering cannot recognize any of these reasons as important. All it cares about, in the end, is whether child abuse runs counter to God's commands. There are two ways of confirming that something is wrong here. First, notice something the theory implies. If God didn't exist, child abuse wouldn't be wrong. After all, if God didn't exist, then God wouldn't be around to make child abuse wrong. However, child abuse would still be malicious, so it would still be wrong. Thus, the divine command theory fails. Second, keep in mind that even a religious person might be genuinely in doubt as to what God has commanded. After all, religious texts disagree with each other, and sometimes there seem to be inconsistencies even within a single text. So, a person might be in doubt as to what God's will really is. However, a person needn't be in doubt as to whether child abuse is wrong. What God has commanded is one thing, whether hitting children is wrong is another. There is a way to avoid these troublesome consequences. We can take the second of Socrates' options. We need not say that right conduct is right because God commands it. Instead, we may say that God commands us to do certain things because they are right. God, who is infinitely wise, recognizes that truthfulness is better than deceitfulness, and so he commands us to be truthful. He sees that killing is wrong, and so he commands us not to kill, and so on for the other moral rules. If we take this option, we avoid the consequences that spoiled the first alternative. We needn't worry about how God makes it wrong to lie, because he doesn't. God's commands are not arbitrary, they are the result of his wisdom in knowing what is best. Furthermore, we are not saddled.
God commands are not arbitrary, they're a result of his wisdom in knowing the best. This nigga's having some strong ass fucking arguments though.
Furthermore, we are not saddled with the wrong explanations for our moral principles. Rather, we are free to appeal to whatever justifications of them seem appropriate. Unfortunately, the second option has a different drawback. In taking it, we abandon the theological conception of right and wrong. When we say that God commands us to be truthful because truthfulness is right, we acknowledge a standard that is independent of God's will. The rightness exists prior to God's command, and is the reason for the command. Thus, if we want to know why we should be truthful, the reply because God commands it does not really tell us. We may still ask, why does God command it? And the answer to that question will provide the ultimate reason. Many religious people...
Damn. The idea that morality is independent of God's will, that's just kind of fucking me up right now, where I'm like, I'm not understanding this shit. Like, damn. Like, that could be a fucking possibility, but is that... What the fuck would that mean? Like, if it's independent of God's will, then it would be objective. Let me break down some terms for y'all niggas. So, in philosophy, objective means independent of the mind. Subjective means dependent of the mind. So, if morality is independent of God's mind, if God had a mind, it would be objective. But if it's dependent on God's mind, it would be subjective to God. This shit's kind of like, You gotta really think about this shit for real if we basing it off that philosophical definition. But I think the problem is with philosophy is like, who says that God had a mind? Hold on, let me make that claim again. Who said God has a mind? If Jesus Christ is God, then he did had a mind, but who's to say he has a mind right now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, God could be like a being that's like, you know, in a higher realm. Like, you know, it's bigger than just like, you know, human type of conceptualizations or human components, I should say. Human components. But now we're getting into some sticky ass situation, bro. God independent of morality. But then it's like you'll think that God is the morality is dependent on God. So how is it independent of his morality? That's why that fly, bro. Fucking Socrates saying that shit was first of all fucking legendary. It's like tricking me up so fucking much. And I wish I had one of my niggas in Discord right here with me. I wish I had this nigga Egg and this one nigga Martyr with me. Those niggas are Christians, but those niggas is like smart as fuck. So it's like, maybe those niggas can break this down to me. Like, I wish I had one of those niggas in here, man. I should text that nigga, be like, hey, man, hop on Discord with me, man. I got a fucking question, gang. I got a fucking question. Oh, that nigga is literally in Discord, but I can't fucking stream in there, gang. I can't stream in there. Oh my god. I should text this nigga on there like, hey, bro. Nah, I ain't gonna do it. But I want to get that nigga on, though. I want to get that nigga Egg on, man. See what the fuck that nigga says about this Euthyphro fucking dilemma, man. Because I'm trying to create this fucking divine command theory. But I swear to God, bro, I don't even remember the Euthyphro dilemma being taught in my ethics class, bro. But I could be mistaken. I don't fucking know. That shit's running through my... Bro, this shit's like crazy.
Many religious people believe that they must accept a theological conception of right and wrong because it would be sacrilegious not to do so. They feel somehow that if they believe in God, then right and wrong must be understood in terms of God's wishes. Our arguments, however, suggest that the divine command theory is not only untenable but impious. And, in fact, some of the greatest theologians have rejected the theory for just this reason. Thinkers such as St. Thomas Aquinas connect morality with religion in a different way.
Go in on that, nigga. She should have went in on that. Okay, guys. Shit, we got a lot of shit. Please call these notes James Rachel, the Elements of Moral Philosophy notes, please. And then can you go ahead and put all of those notes together that I gave you? I had to talk to ChatGPT, telling it, because I gave it all these notes. I was copying and pasting it. I just want them to put all of these notes all in one. Damn, they're putting in like... Nice. Okay, guys. This book probably got more divine command theory, guys. But I mean, we got some good shit right here. We could just check it out. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna go ATF real quick. But I go use the bathroom. I think we got some decent work done. We'll come back, do some more work, put in some more work, and then yeah, man, just stick around, man. You know what I'm saying? Type in the comments if you have any ideas of like maybe some more research we can look up involving divine command theory. Yo, yo, yo. We back at it, boys. We back at it. Alright, man. We got some good research in. So we doing good, man. We about to start cooking up divine command theory, man. That's the next goal, guys. I think that's the next goal. More for next week, but I think starting early, you never can go wrong with that, bro. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT to cite this book, this James Rachel book. I said to cite it, so we got the citations. All whack gun sounds, we gonna get them all whack gun down. Chat, can I, listen to music while we do this, son? Like, or is niggas gonna ban me? Like, is niggas gonna ban niggas? What the fuck? Nigga, I already got banned. One of my videos banned, man. I ain't about to get banned again for no bullshit. Fuck that, nigga. These I'm about to just chill out on low key. Depending on if my sister gonna crank out all of these visuals, nigga, I ain't even about to be going crazy with visuals. I'm just trying to get the information in there, nigga. Fuck that, nigga. Fuck that. Cause we still trying to get more resources, man. Am I about to be on stream tomorrow? I'll probably be on stream. I'll probably hit the gym a little bit. I gotta hit that gym. Probably run a little bit. But besides that, I do want to get on stream. Shit, yeah, I might as well get on stream. Cook up. About 2 hours on stream. Shit, nigga, we can cook up on this divine command theory. You know what I'm saying? Because this is another presentation I'm trying to give, son. Like, introduce to niggas what this shit is. Break it down. I don't know, though. I'm trying to figure out when I can... Maybe I should do, like, 2 presentations. No, I should do 2 presentations and then the debate with that nigga Eli. Yeah, that should be fucking fire, bro. Just to let niggas know, I ain't coming to fuck around, nigga. I ain't coming to fuck around. I come through blazing niggas, bro. Come through blazing niggas. Yeah, because we wasn't even about to be fucking around with this shit. Is there any, I wonder if there's any Divine Command Theory videos we can watch. Will we get banned by doing this shit? Let me ask. Will I get banned? I'm gonna see. might have to just go through this quick video. Man, we might as well get a main source from this nigga Dr. William Lane Craig, bro. I mean, niggas can fuck around and just watch one of these, though. Oh, that's a tight video. Different arguments. I already got that in the lectures. Listen, chat, we got mad shit in the lectures, man. We could probably fuck around with one of these. Be on, because I'm only about to be on stream for a little bit longer, because I mean we got a decent amount of research. I ain't gonna say we went too crazy, but already had shit in the stash, nigga. Like, nigga, already, when you already got shit in the stash, it's kind of like niggas ain't gotta do mad research, bro, because niggas already got it in the stash. Let's see at these lectures, though. I got this whole playlist full of pure lectures, bro. I don't know if there's anything we can do in terms of divine command theory, because we're going to get into Kant, bro, but maybe we should get into the play. We got to the Plato. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into the motherfucking divine command theory and shit like that, and then after we do that, we might just watch that overview for just to get my mind right. Ain't not really too specific on the divine command theory itself. Shit, I'm about to actually make this shit not private. I don't know how, but I'm gonna go back in and do that shit later. Oh, the Academy of Ideas. I wonder if that nigga got some shit. Bro, that nigga might have some shit on divine command theory, bro. I know he got some shit we gotta react to, but that nigga might have some shit, like Academy of Ideas. Let's see what this nigga got. Nope. Hell no. That nigga ain't got that shit. The Psychology of Obedience and Virtue. Man, we're about to just watch this shit.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 11, says that people must refrain from wearing fabrics made of wool and linen mixed together. The first epistle to Timothy, chapter 2, verse 9, prohibits women from wearing braids or gold chains. And Leviticus lays out restrictions against tattoos and gossip, among other things. For billions of people, the source of these edicts, the Bible, is the answer to the question of where morality comes from. In a sense, that's what the Bible is for. If your worldview tells you that God is the creator of everything, it's reasonable to believe that he'd also create a divine rule book, a sort of owner's manual for human morality. And no matter who you think wrote that manual, many people feel that in order for morality to really be binding, for it to be something we all have to adhere to, it can only originate with God. This is the...
Sorry, chat. I'm about to go ahead and start recording this, and maybe I could just post this shit separate as another video.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 11, says that people must refrain from wearing fabrics made of wool and linen mixed together. The first epistle to Timothy, chapter 2, verse 9, prohibits women from wearing braids or gold chains. And Leviticus lays out restrictions against tattoos and gossip, among other things. For billions...
Listen, guys, we're about to react. Hey, what up, everybody? It's Blessed Mindset. We're about to go ahead and react to this Divine Command Theory video by the Crash Course Philosophy. Crash Course.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 11, says that people must refrain from wearing fabrics made of wool and linen mixed together. The first epistle to Timothy, chapter 2, verse 9, prohibits women from wearing braids or gold chains. And Leviticus lays out restrictions against tattoos and gossip, among other things. For billions of people, the source of these edicts, the Bible, is the answer to the question of where morality comes from. In a sense, that's what the Bible is for. If your worldview tells you that God is the creator of everything, it's reasonable to believe that he'd also create a divine rule book, a sort of owner's manual for human morality. And no matter who you think wrote that manual, many people feel that in order for morality to really be binding, for it to be something we all have to adhere to, it can only originate with God. This is the oldest and most widely held ethical theory in the world. Philosophers call it divine command theory, the belief that what's moral and what's immoral is commanded by the divine.
So God creates morality. So, like Socrates asked in the Euthyphro dilemma, is it right because God commands it, or does God command it because it's right? You know, that's a deep philosophical question which we're trying to tangle with right now.
Whether it's the big G Judeo-Christian God or some other deity or group of gods. People have been going to the gods to figure out how to behave since the start of recorded history, and for good reason. Just one benefit of the divine command theory is its simplicity. How do I know what to do? Easy. Go ask God. Check the rule book. It also solves the grounding problem that we discussed last time. Every ethical system needs some kind of foundation, and with the divine command theory, it's God. Period. But as you can tell from the verses I just mentioned, there are a whole lot of things that most of us think are totally fine, but are actually expressly forbidden by certain rule books, in this case, the Bible. And that raises a few questions. For example, many observant Jews follow the rule about not wearing wool mixed with linen, but Christians don't. Most of them probably don't even know that that rule exists, and yet they consider other rules from the Old Testament, like the Ten Commandments, to still be binding. So why? For that matter, why does 1 Timothy prohibit women from having braids, but not men? And if tattoos, smack talk, and gold chains are forbidden, then technically speaking, is all of modern culture a violation of God's word? Divine command theory...
Yeah, that is like a deep question that I have. It's like, if there's a lot of, like, I guess, rules that are banned within the Bible, you know, and Jesus came to fulfill the new covenant and give the new covenant, why is the Ten Commandments still one of those things that Christians live by? That's a question I just have.
Addresses many of our biggest questions about right and wrong, which is why it's the ethical theory of choice for much of the world. But it also presents a true dilemma.
What up, everybody? It's Blessed Mindset. I'm about to go ahead and react to this crash course video on divine command theory. So, stay tuned. What up, everybody? It's Blessed Mindset. I'm about to go ahead and react to this video on divine command theory by Crash Course. So stay tuned, stay tuned.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 22, verse 11, says that people must refrain from wearing fabrics made of wool and linen mixed together. The first epistle to Timothy, chapter 2, verse 9, prohibits women from wearing braids or gold chains. And Leviticus lays out restrictions against tattoos and gossip, among other things. For billions of people, the source of these edicts, the Bible, is the answer to the question of where morality comes from. In a sense, that's what the Bible is for. If your worldview tells you that God is the creator of everything, it's reasonable to believe that he'd also create a divine divine rule book, a sort of owner's manual for human morality. And no matter who you think wrote that manual, many people feel that in order for morality to really be binding, for it to be something we all have to adhere to, it can only originate with God. This is the oldest and most widely held ethical theory in the world. Philosophers call it divine command theory, the belief that what's moral and what's immoral is commanded by the divine, whether it's the big G Judeo-Christian God or some other deity or group of gods. People have been going to the gods to figure out how to behave since the start of recorded history, and for good reason. Just one benefit of the divine command theory is its simplicity. How do I know what to do? Easy. Go ask God. Check the rulebook. It also solves the grounding problem that we discussed last time. Every ethical system needs some kind of foundation, and with the divine command theory, it's God.
Yes, every single ethical system needs a foundation. So that's why if I'm in a debate, I always say, hey, ground your morality, ground what you're saying. Because you need a foundation. Without a foundation, a lot of niggas tend to contradict what they mean or what they say or what they believe.
Period. But as you can tell from the verses I just mentioned, there are a whole lot of things that most of us think are totally fine, but are actually expressly forbidden by certain rule books, in this case, the Bible. And that raises a few questions. For example, many observant Jews follow the rule about not wearing wool mixed with linen, but Christians don't. Most of them probably don't even know that that rule exists, and yet they consider other rules from the Old Testament, like the Ten Commandments, to still be binding. So why? For that matter, why does 1 Timothy prohibit women from having braids, but not men? And if tattoos, smack talk, and gold chains are forbidden, then technically speaking, is all of modern culture a violation of God's word? Divine command theory addresses many of our biggest questions about right and wrong, which is why it's the ethical theory of choice for much of the world. But it also presents a true dilemma.
What he's talking about is the Euthyphro dilemma, guys. Is it right because God commands it's right, or is it right simply because, you know, it's independent of God and God can see that it is right?
Over the millennia, there have been plenty of objections to the idea that morality comes from God. One of the most devastating critiques, and one that philosophers still grapple with today, came from Plato. He wrote an entire book about his problems with the divine command theory, a dialogue called the Euthyphro. The dialogue, like most of Plato's work, stars his real-life teacher Socrates and Socrates' main interlocutor of the day, named Euthyphro. The dialogue is set outside of the Athenian courthouse as the two men sit, awaiting their respective trials. Socrates is preparing to defend himself against the charges that will ultimately lead to his death. Among other things, he was accused of corrupting the